Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into a massive, multi-trillion-dollar global ecosystem. And, it all starts with a simple label you might see on your food. But believe me, it quickly expands into a whole world of advanced science, complex economics, and even global strategy. This is the real story of halal today.
Right, so let's start with that symbol. It's something most of us have seen, but maybe don't fully understand in today's world. Because honestly, this isn't just about faith anymore. It's about a massive, interconnected global system.
So when you see that halal logo, what does it actually mean now? Well, the answer has become surprisingly complex. It's this incredible mashup of ancient spiritual rules and the very modern forces of global capitalism.
Yeah, what started out as a religious dietary rule has just exploded into something way, way bigger. We're talking about a global system where spirituality meets high-tech science, international economics, and, even geopolitics.
Okay, so how in the world do you even manage a system this complex? Well, to get it, we really have to start with the science. I'm talking about the incredible technology that's used to guarantee a product is exactly what it claims to be.
The absolute core scientific challenge is something called halal product integrity. Now, in simple terms, this just means making sure that from the farm to the factory to the shelf, there is absolutely zero cross-contamination with any non-halal or forbidden substances.
To pull this off, scientists basically become DNA detectives. It's a fascinating process. They extract genetic material, and then they send in these highly specific DNA primers, which act like tiny molecular search dogs trained to hunt for the smallest, tiniest trace of contaminants, like pork DNA.
And what's really cool is that not all of these little molecular search dogs are created equal. You can see here that research shows primers like PPA8 and pork F2/R1 are incredibly effective. They get strong, consistent results every time. Others, not so much. So it's really all about using the absolute right tools for the job.
And the results? They're incredibly reliable. These advanced analytical methods, which are just really sophisticated ways of sorting data, they consistently hit an accuracy rate of over 90%. And it's that level of scientific precision that really builds trust in the entire global system. And the science just keeps getting better. It's not stopping at DNA. We're seeing new technologies like these super-sensitive optical sensors being developed to detect other non-halal substances, like lard, with just incredible accuracy. The goal is always more certainty, more trust.
Okay, so we've got all this amazing science happening in the lab, but what does it actually mean out in the real world? Let's take a look at how all this impacts small business owners and, the choices we make when we're shopping in the grocery aisle.
So check out this real-world case of Maha Bakery. For a small business like this one, getting that official halal label wasn't just symbolic. I mean, look at that chart. Their income jumped, and it jumped significantly. And it was all driven by one simple but really powerful factor: consumer trust.
And the story of Maha Bakery isn't some one-off thing. The power of that label is huge. In fact, if you look at the research, a shopper's awareness of halal and just seeing a certificate can account for more than half of their decision to buy one product over another. That's a massive driver of consumer behavior. But here's the catch. This is the crucial point. While these small and medium-sized business owners totally see the value, both as a matter of faith and as a smart business move, a lot of them really struggle. They often just don't have the knowledge or the government support they need to get through that complex certification process.
And you have to ask, what does trust even mean for a consumer? It's a whole spectrum, right? Do you trust the official logo on the package, or do you just trust the shop owner's personal reputation? It gets even fuzzier with non-food items like medicine, which is exactly why we're seeing this growing demand for systems that can trace a product's entire journey.
Okay, so let's zoom all the way out. With all this complexity in mind, let's look at the global system as a whole and figure out what the future might hold for this massive multi-trillion-dollar industry.
But the road ahead isn't exactly simple. The industry is facing some pretty major hurdles. First, you've got fierce global competition, and a lot of it is from non-Muslim countries who see the huge economic opportunity here. Then, some national governments are prioritizing other industries over halal. And on top of all that, you still have that widespread lack of awareness among the very small businesses that need to be part of this.
So, how do you tackle challenges that big? Well, experts are putting together a strategic roadmap. It starts with stronger, clearer regulations to create a level playing field. Then it's about expanding the idea beyond just food into a whole halal lifestyle. And finally, it's about investing in people, building up the expertise needed to manage this incredibly complex global system.
But trying to navigate this global landscape is super tricky because, well, there is no single unified standard. It's not like everyone's playing by the same rulebook. Major players like Indonesia, Malaysia, and Saudi Arabia all have their own distinct rules on everything from certification and slaughtering methods to what you're even allowed to name a product.
So, looking ahead, how do you tie all these different standards together and guarantee trust across the board? A lot of experts think the answer is technology. Things like blockchain, which is basically a super secure digital ledger that you can't tamper with, could create a transparent global system that tracks a product's entire journey. It ensures that halal integrity we talked about, from the farm all the way to your kitchen.
So, as the science gets more and more sophisticated and our supply chains become more transparent, it really leaves us with a fascinating final thought. In this rapidly changing world of ours, what's the next frontier for this incredible relationship between faith and technology?